Mike Hosking Breakfast, 6 to 9 weekdays on Newstalk ZB.
G'day there. A couple of fun facts that weren't covered in the government's transport plan, given we all got a bit exercise this week about the registrations and fuel taxes. But the road to zero has been dumped as part of it, and the Tahuia train is under review. Now, you can add these two projects to the Labor government's litany of shambles that essentially came to nothing. I mean, the poverty figures that went backwards we know about now, the fees free that got no one they wanted into university, and now road to zero. Surely the stupidest of titles finally put out of its misery. In fact, is Road to Zero as stupid as Let's Get Wellington Moving? It's a close run thing, don't you think? But like Road to Zero, Let's Get Wellington Moving didn't work either. You've never seen such a lavish array of hot air and thought bubbles getting enacted at such a price, eh? Tahuia is a classic New Zealand story, if you think about it. At its heart, on a piece of paper in a meeting, the concept of shuffling people between Hamilton and Auckland, not the end of the world, not a bad idea, I suppose. But in typical fashion, at the start, it didn't even go to Auckland. It stopped out of Auckland, then you had to get off it and get another train or jump on a bus. Then it started running red lights, and so they pulled it. And then no one used it. And when they did start to use it, turned out they used it on weekends. So it turned into a sort of a touristy visit Auckland on a Saturday sort of thing. All the while losing money hand over fist. Last time we talked about it, they were expanding the number of services. Now, normally you expand the number of services because of demand. Not Tahuia. Oh no, they just expanded for the sake of it. $90 per person per trip is what we all pay for this folly. As for the road to zero, it isn't zero. It's not close to zero. It will never be zero. And as the agency who oversees this stuff announced just this week, they're now looking at the recidivist behaviour to see if it's a hardcore who are causing all the trouble on the road. Small hint, it is. It's like crime. It's a handful of troublemakers. So all of that advertising about seatbelts and speed and drinking never hit the mark because the mark don't care. The big question, the longer-term issue here, is by the time this government undoes all the nutty stuff, will there be anything left at all of the Labor government 2017 through 2023, more specifically 2020 through 2023? And if there isn't, how bad in the annals of history does that make them?
The Mike Hosking Breakfast, 6 to 9 weekdays on Newstalk ZB.